I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, November the 8th, brought to you in part by the National Beef Wire. Go to nationalbeefwire.com for all kinds of market information, anything that has to do with cattle. You can get on there, you can see this report on there every day. There's all kinds of real-time feeder cattle quotes on there. They've got channels that feature just about everything you can think of that have to do with cattle. And it's the best source, news source for market information when it comes to the cattle market. First of all, I want to apologize to you guys for missing a couple of feeder flash market reports here this week. I tell you what, had an important meeting up in Omaha this week, and then every time I get ready to step on an airplane, something goes wrong with it. And thank God I hadn't had any crashes or anything, but the number of flights that I've had canceled here in the last several months is unbelievable. Just about every time I get on one, and I know that you guys get in a routine of seeing this report. It's kind of part of your morning ritual, and I appreciate that. I've strived to get to that point, and I don't take it lightly to miss these reports. I try to have them there for you every week, but I tell you what, getting very, very busy with different meetings going on, different fall bull sales, production sales going on. Got a lot of speaking engagements scheduled for this fall, and like this weekend, going to be going to Maxwell, New Mexico, over by Raton. Going to be there for the Reverse Rockin' R Angus sale there, and I tell you what, that's Chris Earl's sale. If you guys know him, he has got the genetics going there. And I tell you what, it's just unbelievable the way that sale has grown and improved over just the last few years. But be sure and log on to dvauction.com on Saturday for that sale out there in northeastern New Mexico. But my gosh, the genetics, you just can't believe. And so get done with that sale. Come back early next week. Got the big Ford Ranch commercial herd dispersal down in Melvin, Texas. That is going to be a big deal. I'm going to be down there for that sale if you guys get a chance to come to it. Later on in the week, next week, going to be going back up to Lone Star Angus. My buddy Rodney Howell there at Gainesville, Texas, going to have his sale. As soon as I get done, going to fly up to Bismarck, North Dakota for Independent Beef Producers Talk up there. Come back down to Dallas, and then going to be going up to Neosho, Missouri, or nearabouts there for Joplin Regional Stockyards Customer Appreciation Dinner for that. Then finally ending up there, going to be going out to Oregon to the Oregon Cattlemen's Association. Hope to see you guys at any of those sales or any of those speaking engagements. Just always tickled to see people that make the feeder flash a routine part of their keeping up with what the markets are doing. But try not to miss any more of these feeder flashes than I absolutely have to. Even though I've got all this traveling going on, try to get those daily updates to you. We get off into Thanksgiving week. We may take a day or two off. Not promising you anything that week of the national finals, because I might just be like the rest of the industry and just let everything go to hell and go to Vegas. So looking forward to that too. But let's talk about what's been going on. Big receipts. I mean, huge feeder cattle auction receipts. This has been the biggest week that we've seen probably so far this year. We'll see what happens when we get them all totaled up here. Still got Friday to go. But I tell you what, every sale that has big sales had huge sales this week. And how we choked them all and held the market together, I'll never know. But the board was a little bit tough middle of the week, but you guys weren't scared, because I told you earlier in the week that we were due to have a pullback a little bit. Do I think that's it? No, I think it's going to be more than that. But I think, we didn't see it just go up, 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 up every day like we did the previous week. But this thing's got a lot of muscle to it. The bad thing that's starting to happen is we're getting close to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not traditionally a great time or a great week for feeder cattle markets or fat cattle markets. Everybody's in the turkey mode Everybody's looking forward to taking a break and spending time with their family and things, which is great, but it kind of makes it tough on your trade. But, you know, we're looking at, we've heard some talk come out, haven't heard anything definitive, but it sounds like that your Tyson Holcomb plant may start doing some walkthroughs, getting ready to open back up. They changed a lot of things there. They didn't just clean up the fire. I mean, they did that too. Put some new electrical in there. They raised the chains up higher where they can accommodate bigger cattle. They did a lot of innovations and a lot of things that they've been wanting to do at that plant. They took the opportunity to do that, but they're going to try to get cranking back up there and maybe do a test run the week before Thanksgiving. They're probably going to time that whole deal where it comes right in during that holiday week and washes away any more demand than what it's going to happen anyway. And I think we're probably already have worked a lot of that in already, because most everybody has heard the rumblings about them cranking back up. But they'll try to sneak it in and keep from making the prices go up if they can, which we knew that's what they would do. That whole damn fire at Finney County Tyson has been a fiasco, and we can't expect it to do us any good anytime, including when they crank back up. But probably going to sneak that in during the holiday week somehow to keep it from helping the market if they can, any more than the market's already been helped. Because as bad as things were for the first month or so after that fire, we've regained all that back, and we've got this thing rolling in the right direction now. I think these supplies are coming to us now. The slaughter has been big. Your cow kill has especially been big. That's how we've been keeping that total slaughter up, is catching up on Saturdays, but also with your cow kill. I tell you what, we have seen record cow kills here in the last week or two. It's just unbelievable. Your fresh 90s are leading the way. Your real lean meat there, and that's a benchmark price. And it's just unbelievable how many cows we've been putting away. Well, think about that. We've been slaughtering all these beef cows, not just talking about dairy cows, but beef cows. Have been killing the heck out of those. Lots and lots of feeder heifers on feed. Lots of them have been slaughtered or harvested this past year. What does that mean? We're going to have less calves down the road. We've still got this great beef demand, even though we've got fake meat and it seems like everything else beating on us. We've still got good trade, good domestic and export demand for our product. Everything is headed in the right direction. We get through these dang holidays. I think we get into the early next year, and especially going into spring, it's just going to be gangbusters for this cattle market in all classes, guys. I think it's going to be very, very good, and everything is just looking thumbs up as far as fundamentals. Your fake meat has had a lot of bad press over the last week or so. Even some big articles in places like Wall Street Journal that's finally coming around and looking deeper into it, just than the fact that everybody's in the thinking that cattle are hurting the environment and all this kind of thing. They're looking past that. They're looking to all these ingredients that we don't really know what are on your fake meat. It's causing the ones that they could get to eat it. The laboratory rats are experiencing weird weight gain and kind of making them sick. And there's things in there that have been proven to be the lead-ins for cancer in some of those fake meat products. That word is starting to get out now, and that's a good thing for your beef producers and for the real beef market. And I think that's starting to come around where people are finding out that it's not the big replacement that they thought it was. It's kind of like these fake cigarettes that they're seeing. And everybody thought, oh man, this is fantastic. I can blow 10 times as much smoke and it's not bad for me. Really? I mean, did you really think that? The Indians were smoking real tobacco, 500 years ago or something. And sure, it's bad for you, just like anything else is in excess. Sure, you eat way too much fatty foods and you're going to get fat. No shit. But, I think we're starting to see that this fake meat the people are starting to see the real deal on that, a lot like they are the fake cigarettes. And use your head, people. Just use some common sense if we can out there. And I know all you folks have a lot of it, but preaching to the people that would never watch this program. But I got lots and lots of feeder cattle quotes for you. Hang on for them, because I had people sending them to me like crazy, and I was traveling and getting stranded in airports and things like that. Got a lot of stuff to give you. Going to try to give a pretty good update here to get you through the weekend. Look at the board. Your live cattle futures were down pretty good middle of the week, down over $1 on your spot December there. But on Thursday, your live cattle futures for December, which is a spot month, guys, so there's no basis to be found there. In fact, quite a negative basis there, but it was steady or unchanged on Thursday's session, ending at 119 even. And that's a far cry from where we're selling the few live fats that we've seen sell so far this week. And that's one reason that we haven't sold any more than we have, because your live sellers have got their boots stuck in the ground, and they're not excited about selling cattle for 112 whenever your spot month is 119. February contracts up 15 cents on Thursday at 124.85. That's where we're headed, guys, and April's even better than that. Look at your feeder cattle contracts. Your spot November feeders were down $2.25 Tuesday and Wednesday. Your November contracts on Thursday were about steady, off just 2 cents, but now sitting at 146.77, which is still a premium to what your cash index levels are at, because there's a lot of big calves moving. There's a good demand for them, but I tell you what, when you're trying to choke that many cattle all at once, you can't seem to gain any ground on your prices. But 146.77 is where your November feeder cattle ended the day on Thursday. January was up $1.35 on Thursday, sitting at 145.77. Your fat cattle trade, like I hinted around to, has been pretty quiet, just a little bit in the northern plains through Thursday. We did have some confirmed sales, and this was the market. This is the market in the northern plains, is your dressed market from 181 to 182. 182 mostly to your regionals, and we love the regionals. I'm talking your Greater O, your Nebraska Beef, your Creekstones, those outfits like that. If we didn't have them, this whole deal wouldn't be worth doing. But they given some at 182. Your majors 181. Talking that they don't need a lot. They're already into Thanksgiving week, but did hear of some even plain cattle late in the afternoon on Thursday, still bringing 181 to a major, and that's the market. 181 predominantly, and some 182, which is mostly a buck higher than last week, and spots $2 higher. Did see a little bit of live sales in the northern plains, 114 to 116, but mostly all dressed. Your southern plains is yet to trade. You had a 112 last week. I'm sure they're wanting at least 114 or probably 115 this week. Trying to get closer to that 119, which is our spot futures market. But that's quite a jump to see right here before Thanksgiving. I don't know what's going to happen. I would doubt that we'd get to 115. Of course, I'd love to see it. I would think surely 114 would probably be the market in the southern plains also, which would be $2 higher. But we haven't seen it yet. It'll have to happen sometime on Friday. But box beef cutout values continuing to gain ground, up big on Thursday's session with choice cuts at $238.29, up $1.15 for the day. Your selects all the way up to $213.02. Remember, it hasn't been very long ago at all. They were in the 180s. But $213.02 was up $1.49 for the day. Still big choice select spread. Choice select spread, like people are buying grilling steaks like crazy. It's too damn cold to go outside and grill. It's just our demand is that good. And also we're starting to see holiday buying from your beef purchasers, because a lot of your businesses that'll go out and celebrate for have their Christmas parties and things like that. They'll be having those in early December there. Your beef purchasers are already preparing for that, preparing to have plenty of stock on hand there for those guys wanting to buy those big rib logs for your prime rib dinners and things for your holiday parties. So that's really good, but we just got outstanding demand in a time where there's really no grilling demand to speak of. Your slaughter has been awful good. 470,000 head harvest through Thursday this week, 4,000 more than last week, 10,000 off of the same week a year ago, but we're going to have another big Saturday. A lot of it's attributed to our cow harvest, and that's a big deal. Your actual dressed steer weights for the week ending October the 26th, up big. I tell you what, there's a lot of big cattle out there, but we're working through them. 906 pounds, that's 6 pounds heavier than the previous report. Let's talk about feeder cattle. Got a lot of quotes here on feeder cattle, guys. Real-time index on Cattle Market Central ended the day on Thursday, 144.90. That's been hanging in there just about steady all week with a lot of volume going into it, but about 33 cents a hundredweight off of a week ago, so not backing up too much. And a lot of these calves are selling now are got some weight to them, guys, and they're getting into the index category there because they're weighing in the sevens. A lot of big heavy calves, but just huge receipts everywhere. You know, remember that the city, Oklahoma City National Stockyards, like 12,000 head on Monday. OKC West and El Reno, 10,600 head there, middle of the week for them. Feeders steady to $3 higher. Wean calves on Tuesday were $2 to $4 higher. Kind of a lower undertone and light demand on the fleshy ballers there, but that's just the way it's going to be. Your other big sales, look, as we go through the mid part of the week, Dodge City, Kansas, winter livestock, 4,700 head in Dodge City. That is a big sale for them, big sale for anybody. Feeders there also steady to $3 higher. Calves under some pressure, steady to $2 lower there on calves at Winter Live in Dodge City. Winter livestock, Pratt, Kansas on Thursday, around 3,000 head, pretty darn good run there. Feeders are selling mostly steady compared to a week ago. Farmers and Ranchers livestock auction, 3,900 head there. Feeders $2 to $4 higher. Calves largely steady with spots as much as $3 higher. Look at some of these other big sales. Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the East Barn in Dickinson, North Dakota, 4,900 head there. Actually got closer to 5,000 or a little more on the automated market report that we pulled from Cattle Market Central here. We've got Stockman's reporting really well now. Calves were selling $2 to $9 higher, and it was all calves, guys. Look at these quotes right on there. Look at your best tested weights of calves. 1,226 head of 5-weight steer calves, average 564 at 158.48. That's all of them, and that's $7 higher than the previous week. But the weather's been way better, guys. Starting to get colder here late in the week, but a lot better weather to move cattle around. A lot more people are getting done with harvest. 1,247 head of the 6-weight steer calves in Dickinson, average 653 at 151.18. That's over $5 higher than a week ago. And look at a heifer quote. 797 head of the 5-weight heifers, average 547 at 141.31. Another big sale, go down into Nebraska, over 5,000 head at Ogallala Livestock in Ogallala, Nebraska. Your market reporter there, a federal state market reporter, he had it pinned way down, called them from $3 to $20 higher. But that just goes to show you how hot the market is. I mean, just everything higher. Look at some of these quotes out of Ogallala. You think these farmers aren't getting done with their harvest and looking for a winter project coming in here and pretty optimistic about the way things are going to happen? Look at this quote on light calves. 317 head of 376-pound steer calves, little peewee calves, but I tell you what, they would be fancy, bring 244. Wow. They also had 2 groups of 6-weight steer calves in Ogallala that bring 165, weighing up into the 6s pretty good. How about another big calf quote, and probably the biggest calf quote that I saw anywhere this week or this fall. Torrington Livestock Markets on Wednesday sold 77 head of 500-pound steer calves right there at $180. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but that's getting pretty darn close to $900 a head for a little old 500-pound steer calf. Platte, South Dakota, Platte Livestock Market had 60 head, be a huge load, of 977-pound steers there at $150-$250. Awful good quote there. We talk about Mitchell, South Dakota. Mitchell, South Dakota sells those big warmed up steers. I tell you what, near beers you could call them. But already been heavily backgrounded, but go right on and you can finish them. And a lot of those farmer feeders up there, when they get done with harvest like they are right now, they like to buy some big cattle like that. Doesn't take a lot of time to grow them, and they just finish them right out. But Mitchell, South Dakota, look here on Cattle Market Central, 58 head of 1,068-pound steers bring 146. It hadn't been that long ago. That's all we could get for a 5-weight steer calf, guys. Now they're selling them just darn near getting close to being finished at 146. That's pretty optimistic going into a market where, you know, we're hoping to get 114 or 115. But how about Centennial Livestock? I talked to Brandon Fry there, and they were selling them Thursday evening, but man, did they have some fancy string of cattle there from the Condit Ranch, Saratoga, Wyoming there. Look at these cattle in Fort Collins, Colorado at Centennial Livestock. They had a load of them, 67 head of them, weighed 784 at 163. But look at the big string, 173 head of them, 882 at $155. But so far this week, through the bulk of the week, your highest quote there, Bassett, Nebraska. I can't help it, guys. They just do it. 68 head, a big load of them, weighed 801-pound steers, 165. $1,320 a head for a flat 800-pound steer, guys. And that's a hell of a market. And Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. That's your feeder flash for Friday.